Hello, I'm Ben, and I had an interesting question on uh, Yahoo questions that I thought I would uh, answer because I think it goes. A lot of people deal with similar situations to this when they're kids. And this is a kid that's had just this kind of bad situation with their mother, and the person asking is Sweetie, and the question is, should I be mad at my mom for spending so much money? She got me a Canucks jersey that's like $200. I'm not even a hockey fan, and so I pretty much yelled at her for spending so much money on something she can't return. I feel like an asshole, but I mean, what should I have done? I'm not even gonna wear it. So this is my response to Sweetie, and I say to her or him, I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so I don't really like psychology or philosophy because while everyone needs these two ideologies or understanding, it is unfortunately pretty much reserved for academics, who typically use psychology and philosophy to prop up their self-esteem rather than to translate it into universally useful ideas for the common person, Well, why did I say that? I mean, it doesn't really answer your question. Well, it's because you're dealing with your own psychology right now. This is what you actually do need is an understanding of psychology. And your own mind is fucking with your ability to understand this situation properly. I mean, let's be honest. You're not actually upset about her spending the money. You're upset because that she doesn't know you. And she's making feeble attempts to know you by buying you this thing. And in this case, your anger is being fed by the fact that she basically insulted you. It's very similar. It's a very similar situation to where the husband buys the wife season tickets to the Denver Cowboys for their wedding anniversary. It's a great gift if the wife likes the Denver Cowboys. Otherwise, it just sort of proves that she doesn't know you. So you're not really angry about the money. Take a step back. Take a step back for a moment and think about it. You have a relationship problem with your mother, and because you don't know how to communicate this, it has caused you frustration and anger with both yourself and your mother. You're also very disappointed in your mother right now because the general lies that the public sort of perpetuate is that your mother should know better because she's older or wiser or some other similar bullshit. So you're dealing with an incongruity of belief. You expect her to know better. You expect her to know you better. Okay, hold on. You're dealing with incongruity of belief. You expect her to know better. You expect her to know you better. You expect her to know enough that she wouldn't spend $200 on a meaningless gift. But you're surprised, in fact, by the fact that she doesn't know better and she doesn't know you. So what should you do about it? Well, really, you should cut her some slack. People make mistakes. This gift is really a gift out of love, despite the fact that it was a poor one. And even though you think she should know better, it's not true. Like, there's nothing that, makes somebody all-knowing. Accept and love your mother, including your faults. And what should you do about this situation? Well, is any situation made better by bad behavior? Did you solve anything by yelling at your mother or treating her unkindly? No, you made the situation worse. So, apologize. I mean, it's understandable that you made a couple of rash decisions because, you didn't know what the hell was going on. I mean, why a fucking Canucks jersey? So, you reacted, it's understandable, but, it's not good behavior, so you should apologize for your behavior. If you really want to deal with this situation, you should express why you're disappointed in the gift. You should think about the situation enough that you'll be able to communicate why the gift was insulting, what it means about your relationship. Do you even know your mother? Does your mother even know you? I mean, that's kind of like the gist of like the contention here. And, come up with, perhaps have a solution to the relationship problem. If you want your mom to know you, you're going to have to let her in. and you're going to have to tell her about your life and what you care about, and she's going to have to be okay with this. Like, this is like where the solution is not going to be easy. She'll have to be in a place where she can accept that you're growing up and becoming your own person. She'll have to be willing to accept that you maybe drink a beer at Billy's every now and then, and that you don't like homework, but you love Miss Parsons' class anyway because she is fucking fine. Your mother will probably have a more difficult time with you growing up than you will, as weird as that might sound. But if you don't want this situation to happen again, your mom is going to have some way to learn better. She's going to have to learn that a $200 Canucks jersey is, not okay. $200 iTunes gift card, hell yes. And the only way that she's going to be able to do this and learn this and work it out is with your help. Sorry that this has happened to you. It did happen to me, if that makes you feel any better, but my parents couldn't really accept me, ultimately, when it came to get to knowing me. They were Christian, I became non-religious, so there's no promises, no guarantees, I just wish you the best of luck. And I do think that the situation can be solved and worked through. I've seen it work for other people, and this has worked for me in other relationships. So, again, the best of luck. So that was my response back to Sweetie, and it's sort of an interesting problem because kids sort of grow up, and really the mom bought this jersey. She's just trying to show that she loves him or her, and that she's just trying to show her a gift. But it's sort of it is really kind of an insulting when really you're like, Mom, a Canucks jersey? Really? Do you even know who I am? Like, this does not, show me that you love me. If you just made a statement of I don't even know who the fuck you are. Like, really, love is usually, encouraged. I'm trying to think of the word that you endearing to take care of plants. I don't remember what the caretaking of plants. I forget what the word is. But it's sort of encouraged. Love is sort of encouraged by understanding, and if you don't really understand your kids and you buy them this gift, it's really just going to be an insulting thing. Really, I think what the mom should have done is say, I really love you. I want to get you something to show that I love you, and that every time that you have it and you look at it, you remember that I love you. Like, I have $200 to spend. What can I spend it on? Something that you love it. I mean, it's not like kids are going to be like, oh, Mom, you don't have to buy me anything. Like $200. A lot of kids will, but they'll say, yeah, $200. I really want that new PlayStation game. That sort of thing. I mean, the situation's not really made easier by the fact that when kids grow up, they want to exert their own independence, and so they're not really communicative to their parents. But, I mean, I think parents often compound it. I think one of the greatest gifts that you can give your kid out of love is independence, and just let them have that relationship on their terms. Having the relationship on their terms is a really big problem, I think, with parents and kids today. Like, really, parents really want a relationship with their kids all through the way, and at some point when the kid starts inserting their own independence, they tend to break away, and parents end up having, a huge problem with this. They still want to show that they love their kids, but they can easily wind up in situations like this where they buy a $200 gift that shows the exact opposite of what they were intending to show. So it's like it's not really parents make mistakes, and the kid didn't really handle it that well, like yelling at your mom and everything like that. Really, you should recognize that it is a gift out of love. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty common problem that happens to kids and parents when they grow up, is the parents try to make certain inroads to say that they want to love and care for the kids, but they don't know their kids. I mean, it's sort of weird that when your kids are young, they totally sort of adopt many of your behaviors, your habits, and your beliefs, because kids, that's how kids basically adapt to life, when and cultures, they sort of just adopt the culture, beliefs, and of their parents and the world around them. And it's really when they start getting into their teenage years that they start going all exploratory and go right, left, change at a drop of a hat. And so how would you expect to know your kid at that moment? They're gonna like one thing one moment and then turn around and like another thing the next moment. I think that this is a reoccurring problem, but I think that parents, step into the sandpit like all the time, when trying to like make some sort of inroads to their kids and just end up making it worse. And this is a situation where I think the parent made it worse by by making it really apparent to the kid that, I don't know you and I would like to know you, but I need like some sort of input, and that, this sort of $200 jersey does not, encapsulate our relationship. There's no way for me to buy this $200 gift and suddenly have a meaningful relationship with you. So, I mean, this is a big slap in the face for a young adult, a young teenager who is learning what real relationships are made out of, and realizing that this basically bribe doesn't cut it. It's not a gesture of a meaningful relationship. And they probably don't really even understand their own part in the relationship problem, where the reason they have a relationship problem might be because the kid's not sharing enough about themselves. I mean, the kid's got to open up. Your parent saying, I want a meaningful relationship with you, you're going to have a lot of bumps in the road if you, as a young teenager, like, don't give something back to your parents. Like, the more miscommunication that happens, the less communication that does happen, the more you're going to get slapped in the face by this sort of, I bought you a meaningless $200 jersey, I'm grounding you without really understanding the situation, why this is totally unfair. I mean, that's why teenagers do get the feeling that life is unfair and that their parents are totally out of left ballpark. And, what do you expect to get, teenager? I mean, hello, teens out there, what do you expect to get if you don't communicate to your parents? Like, ultimately, And of course, it's definitely a give and take, because some teenagers are willing to make that communicational journey, and then their parents are unable to accept who they are. Be like, what do you mean you like death metal? Death metal is full of shit, and you're hanging around people that are gonna make you bad. And all sorts of things. Just this is a give and take where parents and teens just do not work out their relationship problems, and it kills me. But anyway. So even though this was about a $200 Canucks jersey and a teenager dealing with the fact that their mom doesn't really know them, I think that this is actually a very universal sort of problem that crops up, in pretty much many teens' relationships. So I think that the lessons learned here can be, translated into all sort of teenager lives. That yeah, you're going to have some miscommunications like this, where you're going to get meaningless gifts, you're going to get attempts by your parents to get to know you, and they're going to be feeble and they're going to be lame. But, I mean, if you're a teen and you're not really telling them who you are, what do you expect, So, anyway, I don't know how long this video is, and I'm going to cut it right here. Bye-bye.